computer. But I was also actually working only about 30 or 40 yards away from a mobile base station. Where I sat, I looked out the window, I saw these antennas. I was the manager of a group of designers, but they came from all over the world. Smokers, non-smokers, vegetarians, meat eaters, you name it. And around 80 to 90% of my personnel developed hypersensitivity to electricity within 1 year. And we have nothing in common, we were not related in any way. To me that says that, well, if the conditions are bad enough, you're all going to get problems.
If you go back some years in the Swedish debate, it was very popular to claim that these persons only imagine this, or they have some psychological disease or whatever, but that has never been found.
The Swedish government has accepted electrosensitivities as a disability.
It doesn't really matter whether you feel anything or not. It has been shown by Olle Johansson at the Karolinska Institute here in Sweden that actually anyone who sits in front of a computer gets sudden changes in the skin.
There are sometimes even heavy alterations, including changes in different immune competence cells such as Langerhans cells, and in the mast cells, which is the key cells for things like allergies, oversensitivities, asthma, that kind of thing. Pointing to that they react as they would react to any kind of irradiation such as X-rays or radioactivity. They also seem to react to something coming from the computer screen. But then we have also focused attention on the mobile telephones, and we're actually the first group in the world to show that persons claiming such a sensitivity could mimic that in a double-blind experiment. And they could show this sensitivity and that it was real actually. Is it really good then to whole body irradiate 24 hours a day? Of course not. And also then a recommendation would be that please, if not stop, at least diminish the use as much as possible until we can say that everything is safe. And today we just cannot say that. On the contrary, there are so much knowledge nowadays, and they're all pointing like a forest in the wind in the same direction towards that there are biological effects, there are risk effects, and some of the effects are even scary.
According to official statistics, it's around 2% of the Swedish population that are hypersensitive. That translates to about 180,000 people.
I think prudence avoidance principle is probably not enough. Maybe you would have to live with the thought that either you have to stop this kind of usage, or at least start inventing what I usually call human-friendly technology.
It should be possible to find frequencies, modulation techniques, etc., that do not affect people as much as the current systems. You can actually have an area that are free from base stations and where the levels are fairly low. Turn off a number of the base stations and turn the antennas the other way, and have an area where you have only outdoor coverage. Even out here where the levels are around 1,000 times lower than in Stockholm, your mobile is going to work just fine outdoors. So if you're satisfied with using your wired phone indoors and only using the mobile while outdoors, that should do it.
We believe that we have some natural protection to microwaves, radio and TV waves, power frequent waves and so on, things that were invented during the last century. And of course we do not have such a natural protection. And maybe there the problem lies, you know.
All these companies, they develop just gadgets and toys, and they don't really understand health issues at all. They are engineers and they understand the technical issues. So health issues must be handled by scientists and politicians, I think.
I think it was a very successful conference. And as a result, we have the Salzburg Declaration with a lot of recommendations to the public, to the authorities,